Mamia, your friend of Mensa, Oko Electoral Commissioner, EC boss, no, EC anum, pressure be brave on so, ne update ne kind EDB Abremo, and call for Omar resign any or more Omoko retirement. But Mamia, your friend of Mensa, no, ono dear, baby, Ojina, and Ojina, and baby Ojina, and the Dr. Rashid Tanko, Edin Sembebre, Ababetuja. Na according to ono or say omo NDC ne de omo trust maame no and petition being so called so electoral commission maame de Mensa file against him na ohwe maame no records ekura na enye records papa and according to Kevin Taylor plano or say maame no boni a wadi ewo electoral commission wo no right now as a EOCO for ekokofa no na ehese omo investigate na maame no ohwe pressure dan so as a ono no Oti EOCO na oye apa baby diniti as a course. The first time or the nine BC EOCO no mama no obi trash na HSO would a free as it no EOCO and sa omo pese omo efre mama na HSO investigations so on the side. Dr. Rashid Tanko so edene de eto aso mo me corner the konkuti and some course na answer na ya be kono Ghana has a open computer papa and as a laptop papa na where you use the Abura periodic computers and accessories and a laptop papa in the location no and your airplane or Kumasi Chrome Estate Eli Abusia friend number ya egu ye screen as 0247 030108 and I say 0597 942133 periodic computers and accessories and I'll be your laptop papa na HSA where you use mommy corner young and some course.
Afeina ABC. Jane Mensa is just scared. She's scared to go to jail. Yeah, Jane Mensa, auditina, what we will see, no, she herself, drew. Yeah. And Jane Mensa is the kind of, we're used to the name, she doesn't want to even enter EOCO office for 1 week, 1 day. Yeah. Because Jane Mensa says, oh, right, EOCO, actually 4 days, she feels she's too high there to even be taken to any cell to be detained on yet. And until I'm going the same way, these are not things you have to spend your time on. Hey, Obia time will be do. Obia be take a decision. We are all here.
Power of the NDC to determine who should be appointed as a commissioner or the chairperson of the committee. That is not within the powers of the party. I mean, it rests with the president. And he has that constitutional duty. And then but we as a party, we also reserve our rights to express our views about the conduct of the commissioners. And we backed it with evidence. We were not just criticizing them for criticizing sake or because they were appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, the former president. That was not the case. We backed it with evidence of their activities that pointed towards jeopardizing the sanctity of the electoral system of this country. We pointed it out. And the media, you captured it. You saw the board registration exercise. You saw how they were transferring people without their knowledge. You saw what they were doing, the gerrymandering they were doing in the electoral boundaries all over the place. You saw how they disenfranchised the Seoul people. For a whole parliament sitting, a whole constituency was not represented in parliament. You saw their activities. And so all these things, we lost confidence in them. And that is why in the 2024 election, we went into the battle with eagle eyes to be sure that we will not be shortchanged again. After shortchanging us in 2020, we said this time around they were not going to get away with it. And we stood our grounds, policed the thing, and defeated the two of them, both the EC and the NPP together. And so if they are finding it difficult to operate within this democratic culture as of now and want to jump ship, that is the destiny. The NDC is not behind pushing anybody to resign.
Well, what's the long game? We're just showing you a picture of 3 individuals at the EC. If you look at the key composition of this Electoral Commission of Ghana, obviously you can't take these 3 individuals out because it talks about the chairperson according to the constitution, talks about the chairperson of the commission, talks about 2 deputies and other members. You, in fact, going into the election, had issues with 3 individuals. 2 are out, leaving 1, the chairperson of the commission. Is this to point out what the end game is and that gradually you're seeking to execute that? Eventually, we may see the chairperson also being forced out. You're denying forcing anyone out still.
Well, I've made it, and I'll repeat it again. I made it very clear, and I'll repeat it once again, that the NDC, despite all the problems that we encountered with them, we open our eager eyes and say, look, they are there. Constitutionally, nobody can touch them unless there's an adverse finding against them that a decision can be taken in their roof. But if there's no adverse finding on them, as a political party, we can't just walk there because our party is in power and say, leave the office. We can't do that. We don't have that power. We will open our eyes on them when they are conducting elections so that we make sure that we have a free, fair election and nobody will be shortchanged. So that was our position. So you will see that since we came into office, almost 1.5, 1.6 years that we are in office now, the NDC has not issued any official statement or written any petition against any of them. No. We felt that, look, they are there. Constitutionally, they are mandated to be there. But
that claim needs a bit of context. Thank computer. The point is,
can you give me evidence that we have written?
you have your members of parliament on record who have sent petitions now after the failed one, initial one.
They said these were individuals.
Why are you calling them individuals? These are members. These are NDC MPs who've written to the president asking the president to push out, once more I'm using that word, Jean Mensa out of office.
I'm saying that listening to them, they made it very clear. They said they did that on their own capacity. In fact, they did that in their own capacity.
As what?
They didn't do it
the
on
individual capacity as what? As NDC members? Members of parliament?
They are Ghanaians. I don't know Ghanaians. They are Ghanaians.
And also members of the NDC. Are you disowning the Hoho MP, for instance? Are you now disowning?
They are our MPs.
Yes, they are your MPs. Thank you.
Yes, so the fact that they are the MPs, if they are MPs, are you taking their liberties away from them?
But you're not denying the fact that they are members, politically exposed individuals who belong to your political party.
Of the party presented them for election,
yes,
and we voted massively for them. They are strong members of the party, and they are representing us in parliament. But you cannot take their liberties away from them. They still have their liberties as Ghanaians, and they have every right. If they see something going wrong, they will go after that.
You tell me, you are a national executive of the party. Do you want to tell me on authority that if we had, say, your national chairperson or yourself or the general secretary of your party write to these individual MPs to tell them to back down, they wouldn't listen? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, that is what I'm saying. That is a different ball game.
Yeah, but you have the power to do that. You could have done that.
In the sense that somebody is taking his own volition to take action against a perceived wrong. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is his own volition. And there's no way that those people sat somewhere and said, we are doing that on behalf of the NDC. I don't forget, I've been repeating that the National Executive Committee of the party was very clear in our position. And our national chairman made it very clear that we have no confidence in these commissioners. The way they are constituted, they have lost their credibility. We were very clear in our mind. And we started saying this since 2022, all the way to 2024. Well, we have not changed our position. But we are saying that the NDC as a party has not put up a petition officially. Don't forget, the NDC, when these commissioners, the latest ones, they are still there, were appointed, the party wrote to the Council of State, petitioning against the appointment of certain officers to the commission. The Council of State wrote back to the party, indicating that after their investigation, they have not seen anything wrong with those people because they were qualified and they are Ghanaians. In the case, so long as they are qualified and they are Ghanaians, the president should proceed to appoint them. The president appointed them. They are there. They are commissioners there. Have we had NDC chasing anybody out of that list? Because we've accepted it. We say, fine, if the Council of State, that is their position, that look, so long as they think that these are Ghanaians, public servants, and they are qualified, whether they are coming from MPP or they are coming from CPP or they are coming from GCPP, that is not their cup of. They are not interested in that. So long as they are qualified and they can do the job, the president and Nana Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, proceeded and made them commissioners. And so we are saying that because of that, the NDC opened its eagle eye and structured our electoral machinery very well to make sure that because of what happened in 2020, we didn't want that thing to repeat again in 2024. And so we know them, we know what they can do, and they are saying that, look, if these people constitutionally, nobody has seen any adverse finding against them, let them continue their work, let them be there. But if they feel that they can't work again and they want to leave, so be it.
Yeah,
and that is why the party has not pushed anybody out.
It's like it's like you're tying their hands and asking them to run. Basically, that's what you're doing to these individuals. Are you aware, for instance, that the Council of State will be considering the petition on the chairperson herself?
Well, that is why I'm saying that the first one that was sent, a verdict came out that there was no prima facie against them. Right. And it was dismissed. It was dismissed. And a lot of media houses were thinking that it's coming from the NDC. They wanted to say NDC sent and it was dismissed. It wasn't NDC. We came out strongly.
Yeah, so now we have the NDC one. Now you agree we have the NDC petition.
Now NDC didn't petition.
Yeah, now you agree we have an NDC-led petition now. Now you agree.
Oh, where's NDC led?
You don't see the individuals leading this whole exercise?
I'm saying that, you see, the moment you begin to say that, you are taking their own liberties granted them by the Constitution.
You're such a respecter of human rights, and yet you don't want to see how much of a pressure you're putting on these three individuals when you've already prejudged the matter and told them that you're not comfortable with the composition of the EC.
Well, I'm saying that, look, me, the fact that I'm the Deputy Director of Elections, I also have my own liberties as a Ghanaian, guaranteed by the Constitution. So does it mean that if I see anything wrong going on, I cannot do it my personal volition without recourse to my party?
You have your.
That's what you are telling me now.
Yeah, no, I'm not impugning that. I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. But I'm also having an honest conversation with you based on what your party has said and what the likes of yourself and leading members of the NDC have asked the president to do. That's why I'm bringing the whole issue up. Okay, but fast forward. You prosecuted a successful 2024 elections. You won, despite these individuals that you're not comfortable with being chairpersons and deputy commissioners of the EC. Are you scared that probably your popularity might wane by 2028? So you want to take the advantage and to do what you can to maintain the lead? Is that what you're trying to do with this?
As we stand now, the latest polls indicated that the popularity of the government of the NDC has soared to 71%.
71?
Day in there is increasing.
71, you say? Which of the polling agents are you working with?
Musa Dankwa came out.
You're working with my good friend Musa Dankwa. Have you seen the report? Have you seen the report coming through from the IEA Tanko Computer?
I'm saying that this is the latest one. At the time the IEA report came, that was a time we're having crisis with the energy sector. There was challenges and all that. Yeah. IEAs went at that time and were interviewing people at that time. When it is resolved, have they gone back to do another report? This is the latest one. So the current one overrides the IEA.
So you feel that your popularity is so high that regardless of the individual serving as EC commissioners or otherwise, you still have the lead in 2028. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, that one there, we are very clear in our mind. That's why I'm saying that we are very clear in our mind. Look, if they had stayed continuously, nothing. It won't affect the fortunes of NDC because we know how to play the game. They tried every means to help MPP in 2024 election. They didn't succeed. They didn't succeed. With all the security apparatus behind them and all that, they couldn't succeed because we stood our ground as a party and prevented all their rigging machineries. And that's why I'm saying that for now, look, whether they were there or they were not, whether they are there or they are not there, that is not a cover. For us, we are prepared for the 2028. And look, if they had stayed, we would have followed them up to the election and still beat MPP.
So for us, you're being challenged on that because in fact the IEA polling that you're talking about saying that it's outdated and that you want to rely on that of Musa Dankwa. You go back to the IEA findings, for instance, and your slumping rating has got to do much more with jobs, performances in terms of what you've promised the youth of this country. 24-hour economy is what you promised. Significant amounts of job opportunities for people. The report is indicating, and Musa Dankwa hasn't done that yet on the 24-hour economy, at least he's not sent that to me yet. So I'm confident to say that the IEA is the only polling agent now to have tested you on that. So you're not giving the jobs. You might lose 2028, giving the significant population of the youth that we have in this country. Don't you think so?
Let me tell you, we came and inherited a huge backlog of unemployed youth in this country. Huge backlog, unemployed youth. Your reporters will show you why did they voted against them massively? Because of huge unemployment. And I'm not surprised their former presidential candidate yesterday was telling them 15 months. You want somebody to use 15 months to resolve all problems in this country. They are coming after him. They are all over the place insulting him left and right. Kennedy Ajapong, the former presidential candidate.
Aspirant, you mean?
Yes, aspirant. He was a candidate. He wasn't an aspirant. In fact, he was a candidate. He told them 15 months. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that's why they are praising him, both internal and external bodies. You go international community, his rating has soared because the way he has managed to turn the economy around the corner within the shortest possible time. It takes somebody of that nature to arrest the downtrend. In fact, we are having a junk economy, bola economy.
Where's the 24-hour economy, Rashid Tanko?
I'm saying that the 24-hour economy is not an event. It's not an event. It's a process.
Oh, okay, so you want me to ask you where are the jobs, or you want me to ask you where's the 24-hour economy? Which of them? How do you prefer the question?
The thing is, we are talking of electoral officers.
I know.
Yeah,
you're saying that regardless. No, yeah.
And we are saying, how does that got to do with?
I know.
Were they also part of the 24-hour?
No, they weren't part. You're just telling me.
Well, I'm saying that.
But I was just bringing that up for a moment to demonstrate to you that what you claim that your popularity hasn't waned. The IEA is telling you that your popularity is waning when it comes to jobs, and so you're bent on doing whatever you can to win the 2028 elections. I was just trying to demonstrate that.
Do we need electoral commission to win the 2020? It is MPP who need an electoral commission to rig election for them. This question should have been thrown to them.
You don't need the EC. You don't need the EC. You don't need the electoral commission.
We don't need EC. Why do we need them? We don't need them. The only thing, they are only referees. Their duty is to conduct the election. Make sure that we have level playing ground, free, fair, transparent process, so that the political parties can compete and Ghanaians will decide who they want to vote. But not crooked officers who will muddy the water and change figures and do some level of gerrymandering just to give advantage and due advantage to your opponent. That is why the Electoral Commission will come in. But if you have a level playing ground, free, fair, transparent, no crooked official messing up anything, why will you have problem with EC officers? Why will you have EC officers? You don't need them. Without the EC, look, when we're going to the battle, time and again, go and play back my interviews and my boss interview. May he rest in perfect peace. What were we saying? Our first opponent in that election was EC, followed by MPP. Why did we start the MPP, the EC at that time as our first opponent? Because of what happened in 2020 election. Their conduct in 2020 election was not the best. It was just not the best at all, completely. And they followed it with a district assembly election, where ballot papers were shorting at voting centers at the district assembly election, 2023. Elections, this current where we are, and ballot papers were shot at voting centers, if not this current electoral commission. And the same thing, when we're doing registration, didn't you see the Bosch numbers they were
you still won the elections. That's all right.
That is why I'm saying that. So for us, whether they stay or they resign, it's not an issue to us.
Yeah, because basically what you plan to do for your critics, they say that you're simply weaponizing institutions and getting them to get these people out. I'll give you an example. For instance, what's happening to at the level of the Council of State. So many questions emerging as to why some of these requests are being passed. For instance, the one your MPs have sent, the criticism is that it's likely to pass as well, because that's the nature of the activities that these advisory bodies do, because after all, the president could disregard them. In this case, you have a very experienced member of the Council of State leaving at the time all of these decisions have been taken on, i.e. the Chief Justice, and of course the Council of State is about to take a decision on the chairperson of the Electoral Commission as well. Do you feel that your party is increasingly not listening to these feedback and it's just going ahead to weaponize the Council of State process against these personalities you're not happy about?
The Council of State didn't come into existence under the current NDC administration. It has been there since 1992. I've lived through all the Council of States and I've seen their performances. In fact, the last one, if we put crystal ball on them, you will marvel the kind of distance they were giving the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, with all the problem we are going through. So you are telling me that at that time the Council of State didn't see that they were digging some big hole here where they dumped some $98 million over there. So that time they didn't have Council of State. And so when people talk as if the Council of State just came into existence when His Excellency Dramani Mahama was elected, we live with them and we saw the kind of thing, the advice they were giving. I'm saying we have a letter with us from Council of State and then Nana Akufo-Addo, a response that we wrote concerning these current electoral commissions and all that. And so they are doing their work. The Constitution asks that the president must pass some of these things to them for advice. And then so when they are doing their work and they are bound by their oath of secrecy, oath of office, if you are a member of them, they take a decision and you go outside and speak against it or say something contrary to it, you lose your grounding or standing among them. You yourself, your shadow will be hunting you. So these are some of the issues. And they are seasoned people. Go and see the current Council of State. The constitution of this current Council of State. Honorable Doa Jaho is a chairperson. Speaker, long-time member of Parliament, became Speaker of Parliament, and today he's chairing a body like that. And you think they are jokers there? Have you seen Honorable Mohamed Numu, former Foreign Minister, ACP General Secretary, he was a Pacific, Caribbean, Pacific nations. He was their General Secretary.
They are politicians.
And I'm saying that these are lawyers, seasoned lawyers.
But they passed the first test on Jean Mensa, for instance, which got rejected through the opinion that the Chief Justice gave, correct?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that for them, they will assess the veracity of your petition.
You're telling me they are lawyers. I'm just giving an example where the first test failed. You now have a second process going through. And so it presupposes that something political might be happening there, isn't it?
There's no political thing going on there. They look at it. When the other one came, didn't you go to the Chief Justice? Was it not the Chief Justice who returned the verdict about the petition that was sent? Was it not the Chief Justice? After the Council of State they sent it to the Chief Justice, he came out with the verdict.
You recall that this was not the first attempt at trying Jean Mensa on this. When the first one happened, the Akufo-Addo administration had their Council of State opine on that, and clearly they said there was no, prima facie or so any evidence of whatsoever, leading to the presidency rejecting that first attempt. So I'm saying that the Council of State could have done something. In terms of the advice to the president.
Was it the same? Is it the same petition that was sent to Nana Akufo-Addo? Is it the same petition they brought back now? Is it not a different petition? It's a different petition. I remember the first one. Professor Kweku Aza And Nana Akufo-Addo, he sent a petition against Tokonu. The Council of State at that time rejected it. They said there was no prima facie against. And Nana Akufo-Addo dismissed that petition. Nobody said anything about it at that time. It passed on that way. Another petition came at that time. In fact, there was a pending petition against Madam Jean Mensa and the commissioner before Nana Akufo-Addo. They refused to pass it. They were keeping it. The one you are talking of, they reluctantly passed it to them, and the people rejected it. Now, different people also came. They passed it, went to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice looked at it. In fact, if the Chief Justice had brought a verdict that there is a prima facie, I'm sure hell would have broken loose in this country. They would have said, the NDC people want to remove them. They have removed this person, so they now want to remove Madam Jean Mensa and the deputies. But you see, God is on our side. God is on our side. The Chief Justice went through it. This is how independent the judiciary is. If the party, the NDC, was influencing it or there was a political undertone in it, I'm sure a verdict of guilt would have been passed against it. But they did their independent work, came out with a verdict and said, no, there was no prima facie against them. So they dismissed it. And they were doing their work.
Are you mindful? Are you mindful? You seem to be so confident that all is well. Are you mindful of the fact that you have a major political opposition in this country, the New Patriotic Party, that will equally be alarmed at some of the steps you're taking? Gradually, the feeling is that you're weaponizing state institutions against them. You have the opportunity now, I mean, as the NDC administration, to pick two top members of the Electoral Commission going into the 2028 elections amidst a constitutional review that is happening. You feel the NPP? You feel the NPP will be happy about this?
I'm sure the NPP is even more happier than NDC for now. Before we went to Ablekwono, they held a press conference addressed by their General Secretary. And he was very emphatic that they've lost confidence in the current Electoral Commission. Go and play the tape, you have it.
Who said that?
Their General Secretary, NPP. You remember the issue when they were going for the rerun in the Ablekwono? They held a press conference. That was the time they also said they lost confidence in them. And that they cannot protect them should there be a petition to remove them. They said it. It's there. The tapes are there. It's a public knowledge. And so at that point, it was like NDC and NPP were in concert against the Electoral Commission. Because for us, you already know our position. Then our opponent also came in and said, with this behavior of Electoral Commission, we have lost confidence in you. We are not interested. They said all manner of things against them. And also, for us, we are clear in our mind. And we don't want to interfere in any institution. Look, we are a political party. The government we have brought in is performing its work. We have seen that the government is implementing our manifesto to the letter. We are satisfied. The people of Ghana are satisfied. Everybody is saying that she's doing fantastic. It's all over the place. If you go around the country, we have turned the whole country to construction site, trying to reset the country. So everything is going on well. It's going to Electoral Commission to look for officers and other things. It's not what, it hasn't crossed our mind. And we are saying that, thankfully enough, nobody has put a dagger or a gun on the head of a commissioner to resign. Did it on his own volition and stated that he wants to go back to classroom to teach. It's good.
I see.
He's going to continue to help the state. He's not going home to rest.
Yeah, and that's the source of worry for some as well. I mean, you take a look at these individuals. I'm wondering if personally, because you know them too well, they experience their background, and many are just wondering if you can find quite a sharp replacement for these individuals. Dr. Bosman Asare, I mean, his contribution at the political science department is in no doubt. Astute academic has been spoken about before the appointment. You talk about Jean Mensa as well and how instrumental she has been in consolidating democracy in this country. You know that too well. In fact, the president knows that too. Are you mindful of all of these things? And how is that shaping the kind of advice you as a political party are giving to your government?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of an electoral officer before known as Dr. Afarjan.
That's
You've
right.
heard of him before?
That's right, yes.
Yes. When he exited, didn't we get replacement? Yes, we got replacement. Charlotte came in. After Charlotte, Madam Jean came in. Is that not it?
She's still there.
There are people.
She's still there.
Madam Jean is still there. They were different. Ahmad Sule was a deputy commissioner. Madam Amankwa was a deputy commissioner. MPP came and sacked all of them. In fact, MPP, for the first time since 1992, we've never seen a president that sacked officers at the Electoral Commission. It was only MPP. They came and sacked the commissioner, sacked the 2 deputies, 3, all of them. Just happened.
And under your tenure, we're seeing for the very first time a deputy commissioner resign to say he's going back to the classroom.
Is sacking? Is sacking equivalent to resignation? Is that what we are telling you?
Do you know the reasons why Dr. Bosman Asare is resigning now? Are you aware?
But he said he's going back to school.
Yeah, he's going
That
back to
is the
school.
reason.
He's not told you the reason why he's going back to the classroom.
Why? Is it not a reason?
I mean, you've been in academia. You've lectured a number of people. Are you telling me?
I've been in the classroom.
Are you telling me that if you're giving a job as a deputy EC boss and you left the classrooms for that job, you would easily reconsider going back to the classroom for no reason, no apparent reason?
I used to be a regional director of youth employment. Do you get that?
Yeah.
When NPP came, I left on secondment to the university to lecture. I went back to the classroom, and I was in the classroom lecturing.
Oh, when the NPP came? When the NPP
yes, when the NPP came.
Were you forced to go back to the classroom?
And I'm telling you that I was serving the government in a different capacity.
Yeah, but were you forced to go back to the classroom?
No.
So why did you leave?
I said I went on secondment. I was on secondment.
So the NPP came and said you had to go back to the classroom.
And I'm saying that is why I'm saying that. Look.
So you're just making a perfect point for me now that perhaps that's the same thing happening to Dr. Bosman Asare. And then now you have a new regime, political regime that's not too friendly, quite more hostile towards him. A reason for which he wants to go back to the classroom, just as you did when you were NYA coordinator.
That's why I'm saying that. It's a personal volition. You can take your own personal decision. I ain't getting it.
Yeah.
That look, this current administration, maybe I'm having difficulties in working, or I don't feel comfortable in working, or because I was brought in to execute an agenda. But the way this administration is set up, I can't execute that agenda. You find your level. I've told you that what happened in 2020, we've not forgotten of it. The kind of election that was held in 2020, as a political party, NDC, we have not forgotten about it. And that's why we had to sit up to make sure that the 2024, they didn't get away with it. And also, well, that is the personal decision, his personal decision.
Yeah, before we go, I want us to look into the future as to what might happen. Would the NDC have a say, or perhaps have any form of tete-a-tete with the president now on the current names before the Council of State? The chairperson of the Council of State is a member of the NDC, in fact, a senior member. You've just referred to some other senior lawyers there, people that have close affinity with the government as well. All of these names by now would have been disclosed to either the chairperson of your party, to yourself, because this has got to do with elections. What kind of engagement are you having with the president on who should be the possible replacement there?
I'm saying that we as a political party, we don't want to interfere in that matter. We are put in the government.
Are you being honest on this point, that you do not know as of now as a political party the names being tabled to the Council of State? What? Is that what you're telling me?
No. Why? You want us to think for the president?
The president is a member of the NDC. In fact, he's leader of the party.
He's a member. He's a leader of the party.
Yes.
He's a leader of the party. So if our leader of the party, who is not the president, is the executive president. He's the executive president. He decides who. Look, it's a public service. That's one thing people are saying. Electoral Commission is a public service. Because of the nature of their work. That is why we are talking about it. It's just like the other public services. He has appointed CEOs, chief executive officers, deputies, and all that. It's the same thing. But because of the unique nature of their work, that is why we are breaking heads over this. And I'm saying that it is within the powers of the president to nominate for the Council of State to verify and report back.
And you want to tell me that your party doesn't care about the names going there?
Oh, I'm saying that if the president...
That's the more reason why I'm interested in the names before the Council of State now. You can't tell me that the NDC has absolutely no idea of these names before the Council of State.
Why would I? I'm saying what? Are you saying that the NDC should sit down and be determined for the president how he should run the
when
government?
you were doing your ministerial appointments, you didn't do them in a vacuum. You didn't do any other appointment in a vacuum. You obviously would have some recommendations for the president. Are you telling me if that today, if Justin Kodia was being considered as chairperson of the Electoral Commission, deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission, you, Rashid Tanko Computer, will be happy about that idea? You'd be concerned as a member of the NDC.
When they appointed, I give an example, when they appointed 3 commissioners,
yes,
we were concerned. We wrote to Council of State, raised our concerns. We didn't go to street.
So you have an option now. You have a concern now too.
And I'm saying that, I'm giving you an example.
Yes.
So even today, if they bring Justice Kodia, it will represent the same thing. Nothing will change. It means that is the same dimension because we already have them there. And we raised it, and the response was that they don't mind which political party you are coming from. What they are interested in, whether you are qualified, you are fit for purpose. And if you are qualified within the constitutional remit, whether you are coming from NDC or you are coming from MPP, CPP, that is not their matter. The Council of State has already established that benchmark. And it's there. So today, if His Excellency decides that he wants to bring Justice Kodia, that benchmark has already been established. You were there.
Wow. And you have no problems with that at all?
I said we already have problems, and that problem was resolved.
Yeah. Now you're happy you're using it. Yeah,
we had that problem. We raised problem because since 1982 we've never had that.
Okay, my difficulty now. My difficulty now is that I'm not able to think through any immediate names that should be coming up now for this replacement. Are you considering perhaps a grand scheme of bringing back the appointee, President Mahama's appointee who was removed, Charlotte to say?
I can't think for the president. As a party, we can't think for him.
Okay.
And when we went to fake meeting and other thing, nobody could think for the president because he's an executive president. You can say all that you want to say. If you wake up in the morning and he decides who he wants and pen the person name there, that is his choice. Ghanaians voted for him to run the country. So he knows who to place where to run the country for us. That is why we gave him over 57%. And so we have massive confidence in him. And so if he decides and said, His Excellency tomorrow, look, my good brother sitting and interviewing me today, tomorrow I want you to be a deputy commissioner. Who am I? Who am I to say the president what you have done?
We're not, Tango, we are not there yet, you know.
Why? You are Ghanaian.
I'm Ghanaian.
That is where the problem is.
But that's to soften my stance, isn't it? You're giving me some overtures just so I feel good in my seat right now to say I'm possibly on that list to the Council of State. But you know too well that for certain that I'm not on that list. You know too well that I'm not on that list. You know, and that possibly. Let me give you an example.
Let me give you an example. Do you know the second deputy governor of Bank of Ghana?
She's a media personality, no doubt about that.
Good, beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you state her political colors? Do you know her political colors?
You should be telling me whether or not she's a member of the NDC. I don't know.
That is why I'm telling you that the president is looking at people who can perform and make sure that the good people of Ghana enjoy their fruit of labor. So he looks around with his advisors and he looks and see, okay, this person can do this job for me.
I see.
Okay, first and foremost, we're looking at the qualification of that person, whether the person is qualified enough to do the job. Does the person has the experience? Can he or she do the work? Then he will look, his advisors will advise him, then the Council of State will come in and all that. then they appoint the person.
Yeah.
So you are there. You are a Ghanaian. Don't be surprised. Maybe your CV is there.
Yeah.
They are looking at it.
I see that today.
I think that
I mean, it's rare because you're doing that for the first time on this show, removing your political hat entirely, simply because we're talking about the Electoral Commission. So you're telling me now that Johnson Asiedu Nketia, it's a controversial question, uncomfortable, but I must ask you that the chairperson of your party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, neither Julius Deborah in the Jubilee House will have no form of tete-a-tete with the president to say, just consider these two individuals for us. Is that what you're telling us? That President Mahama will listen?
No. I'm saying these individuals you have mentioned, we have what we call oath of secrecy. These are senior government officials. You don't expect them to come up publicly and start opening their mouth and telling you who and who are nominated and all that. Even if the president confided with them that I have this person in mind and other thing, they will keep it in their head. Even their wives, they won't tell their wives.
And they won't say anything back to the president to say, well, we think it's a good choice.
They will give their advice to the
what I'm
president.
telling you now. Precisely what I'm telling you on the show. That you, the NDC, will have a say in who becomes the next.
If they advise the president, they won't come publicly and tell the world, or come to we the party executive and tell us that I have informed the president that the name of his person is speaking, that person is not this, or you should pick that up. Don't do that. That's what we call oath of secrecy. I have sworn that oath of secrecy. There are a lot of things that I've seen and I've heard before. It's in my head. Some of them will go into the grave with it. Because you have sworn oath of secrecy, and that makes you a human being.
Okay.
There are certain things, yes, we have what we call collective interest. And then so when you take it, even if you have your own personal interest, you shelve that one. You put it aside and go with the collective interest. And that is why I'm saying that we have confidence with our president. We know he's going to get the right replacement for the two officers. They've done their part. They've done their job. They want to continue. Mr. Tete, he's going to rest. He's been doing this work for all this while.
For quite some
so
time
it's
now.
time for him to go and rest.
Okay.
Dr. Bosman wants to go and continue educating our brothers and sisters. That's good enough. It's good. It's continue his knowledge in governance space and all that. It's good.
Okay,
so
here's what I want us to do. We're wrapping up, so I want to ask you the very last and direct question. If you had an advice for Jean Mensa as the chairperson of the EC now, who's obviously looking at her desk and two vacant seats, individuals who are closely helping her to execute her mandate are gone, what would you say to Jean Mensa now, as some form of a message from probably the NDC or yourself? And also to Dr. Bosman Asari, who I believe you've interacted with in the lead up to the election, now that he goes back to the classroom.
I would decline the invitation to advise her. She has senior advisors who can advise her. I would decline the invitation.
You don't want to say anything to Dr. Bosman Asari?
Dr. Bosman Asari is my friend. He's going back to school to continue teaching. That is well intentioned. That one is fine. He's going to continue. One of my sons will very soon be going to the school there, so he's likely to meet him. That's good. He's a very fine academic.
All right.
I know him. Very fine academic. I've met him severally. His diction and everything. When he's talking, you know that fine. But where he found himself, I'm sure there were forces worrying him and all these kind of things. That's why we had all difficulties with him in the operation at the EC. And so for that one there, it's well intentioned. Yes, he wants to continue serving the country in another capacity. You see, he's going to serve the country in another capacity.
All right.
That is good.
Okay, abusunya we ne ensema ekoso e wo political highway so Kevin Taylor and Dr. Rashid Tanko and I say omonka Electoral Commission HSN sanya ayese ekoso wo ho no yade ho nsem ebrama bedama asesamo jepene kokotiza ensem no edema medamase